right. So it's just past Thanksgiving. As you're listening to this, it is going to be about a week, just over a week past Cyber Monday, and we will be firmly into December and the holiday season. And we have gifts during this time period. And actually, I first learned about it from Brendon Burchard, and it was a really interesting time when he had these phases. And he talked about these phases, and he was like, man, this biggest gift we have during the holiday season are these time constraints that are given to us by the nature of the season itself, and all these like markers of Thanksgiving, and you have Black Friday, and you have Cyber Monday, and then you roll into Christmas and then New Year's. And he's like, man, as marketers, it is the biggest gift that we've been given. And here's the reason. This is going to be a short episode because I really just want to talk about two things. You've probably heard, if you've listened to this podcast since the beginning, I think this is the 24th episode, we're very big on offers, and how in the yoga world, what most people do is to compel people to purchase, they just discount the price. And another way of making your services look more, I guess, cheaper, but have more value is to increase the value to make it feel cheaper, like it's a bigger discount, instead of actually just discounting the service that you're providing itself. But even that with like what they call an irresistible offer. And, it's like you're stacking all of these things we talked about a couple episodes ago, where the problem that your service is solving, well, once it's solved, creates another problem. And so you can stack all of the solutions to all these problems that your people are going to have. For instance, they say, I'm going to sign up for your intro special, and all of a sudden, what do they need? The next problem is, I don't have a yoga mat, and I don't have a water bottle, and I don't know like what I need to do to start, and I don't know what type of apparel. And so you think about that, and you're like, okay, I can stack all of these different offers within this bigger package because I'm solving the problems that people didn't know they had until they make that first purchase. So that's all about creating an irresistible offer. But even that, there are two things that are as important to compel people to actually say yes and make the purchase. And that is urgency and scarcity. Urgency and scarcity. A lot of times, if you hear about it, if you've understood, if you've like learned or studied from a coach, they typically use urgency and scarcity kind of interchangeably, but they're not. And this is the gift of the holiday season, is that, and don't get me wrong, like I had the thought of like, someone's listening to this and like, oh my God, they're just talking about like, or he's just talking about like how to make money during the holiday season. Well, I guess it's obviously more than that. And there's this special auspicious time of year about togetherness. And it was just Thanksgiving and getting together with family and loved ones, and what, Christmas and the holiday season is really all about and all that stuff. But so yes to all that. And as marketers and business owners trying to make a living and like provide this beautiful service to people, it's a beautiful time of year, because embedded in this time of year is urgency. If you set up your offers right, meaning you've done the background, you've created the offer, you've thought of all the problems, and you're stacking it all, and it's this irresistible thing. And then all of a sudden what you do is you create urgency by saying there is a deadline to this special. Meaning, so here it was, as you're listening to this, it'll be about a week and a half ago, it was Black Friday. And there's all these specials. But notice what happens in Black Friday is that the special is on this day only. And then all of a sudden you have Cyber Monday, which is actually the day of filming this. And this is it. You don't have another day to do this. If you want this discount, if you want this offer, today is the day. That's what urgency is. Essentially, it's saying collapse the amount of time that people have the opportunity to purchase the offer that you're creating, so that they feel more compelled to do it. Because by nature, and I know this is me particularly, people are procrastinators, right? They need a reason to say yes now. And the two reasons to say yes now, one is urgency, which is just put a deadline and then hold to it. So urgency is a function of time, and saying you have a week, you have a day, you have 36 hours, you have 24 hours. And what you've noticed, if you have been looking at your emails, is you'll see all these deadline emails coming at you. 24 hours left, 15 hours left, 5 hours left. This is the final call. You must act now if you want this $1 for thousands of dollars of products that I've been creating, blah, blah, blah. And so That's urgency. Number 2 is scarcity. Now, scarcity is a function of quantity, meaning there is only a certain amount, a certain number of spots left. So years and years ago, when we were just in like 2005, 2006, I guess we had somewhat of an understanding of urgency, but we never really called it that. But we knew that like, hey, this offer can't last forever. And so we're going to put a time frame around it. But we never put scarcity around anything we ever did. There was never like, this is the number we're selling and that's it. Well, fast forward to this Thanksgiving Black Friday season, and we decided we're actually going to put some scarcity around the offers that we're creating. And so we did this 10, 20, and 50 class card special. And we did it about a week before Black Friday actually started. And we said, this is our goal. We want to sell 100 of the 10, 50 of the 20, and 30 of the 50. And so what happened when we did that is we didn't just say, hey, there's 2 weeks that you have to take advantage of this offer. You actually only have a certain number of each that you can take advantage of. And so my sister, who's the manager of the Virginia Beach location that we have, we were at the Tuesday meeting that we always have, and she was like, hey, I just talked to somebody, and they were like, so how long is this offer going? And she was like, well, it goes until December 2nd, which is Cyber Monday. And he was like, oh, so I have some time. She was like, yeah, you have time, but there's only 30 of these left, because he was looking at buying a 50 card. There's only 30 total. And he was like, so you're saying I should buy it now? And what she said was like, well, listen, I can't tell you how many they're going to be and how fast they're going to go. But yeah, if you wait, there's a potential that you're actually not going to be able to buy it because of scarcity. And so my point is, you have a really great opportunity during this time of year because urgency is already baked in by saying, hey, there are these finite markers. You have Black Friday, you have Cyber Monday, and then you have the Christmas Eve, and then you have New Year's Eve, and you have these like beautifully baked into the calendar timeframes that allow you to create the urgency. And so what I'm also suggesting is think about how you can create scarcity around it too, meaning just limit the number. And I'm not saying limit the number to limit your profitability and your revenue. I'm saying figure out what your number is, how much you want to make on whatever the offer is, and then reverse engineer, well, how many of those would I need to sell to actually make that number? And then promote that you only have this number available, because what it does is that it's just human psychology. I see it in my girls. Like when I let them know that if they don't go right now, they're going to miss the ability to play at the park. They get their shoes on, they get their socks on, and they are out the door. It is just baked into this fear of missing out that we all have as a function of being human beings. And so you can use that human psychology to help people do yoga and do the thing that is probably the most important thing that they can do for themselves. So as you approach your creation of this next phase that we've been given as yoga entrepreneurs of the holiday season and these demarcations of time, next is Christmas Eve, and then Christmas, and then New Year's Eve, and then New Year's, and then we roll into where we have the New Year's resolutionaries. We're going to be doing episode 2 on like what are the trends of 2020 that you should be looking for. So look out for that one coming soon. But for this one, my point is urgency is in. Just say this is the time frame that you have to do it. Scarcity is what you can add by saying there's a limited number. And so today is the last day of the sale that I was talking about, what we call the Thankful 10, 20, and 50 class card. We wanted to do 20% more than we did last year. I'm almost positive we're there. Our bigger goal, we were pretty far away from it for as of yesterday, but we've been doing really well today. So anyway, I'll let you know how that goes in the next one. But again, the point, one of the reasons why we knew we were going to get 20% is because we added the scarcity. We were good at urgency, but the scarcity is what we failed on. So add those to your offers, right? Create the irresistible offer, right? Think about all the problems that them saying yes to the intro offer, whatever it is, the unlimited or whatever it is, and then come up with all the other follow-up problems, create an awesome guarantee, wrap an awesome story around it, right? That's the irresistible offer with a sales message. And then create some urgency, create some scarcity, because that's the reason people are going to actually say yes and act now. And when you do that, I guarantee you'll notice your sales going up, your revenue going up, and the impact that you have on people's lives will be going up as well. Anyway, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and you're enjoying the holiday season, taking some time off, be with friends and family, and add a little urgency, add a little scarcity to your offers, and it will make a big difference in your life. Peace.
Yes. Thanks so much for listening to Yoga Entrepreneur Secrets. Do you have a question that you'd like us to answer raw and uncut on the podcast?
If you want your questions answered, all you need to do is head over to Apple Podcasts and do 3 simple things.
1, rate and review, telling us what you think of the podcast. 2, in that review, ask anything you want related to yoga. And 3, if you want a shout out, leave your Instagram handle or name. And that's it.
Then listen in to hear your question answered live, raw, and uncut.
Join us next time on Yoga Entrepreneur Secrets Podcast.
Thanks.